Hello, everyone. My name is Erwin Cito. Welcome to the Truth About Real Estate Investing show. And I trust everyone's doing well, especially with the weather improving and the world going back to normal. I know a lot of restrictions here in Ontario are lifting. I read that across Canada, a lot of restrictions are loosening as well. A lot of people are making plans for the mask mandate to be lifted. And because my personal and family's health situation allows, last week I was attending in-person events hosted by the entrepreneurs organization that I belong to mastermind and watch a presentation on the Great Resignation. For anyone for anyone who's been hiring for anything, work to be done. It can be contractors, if you are an employer like I am, if you're trying to hire people, or pretty much anything. It's been difficult to hire people for jobs, and that's a pretty consistent message I'm hearing from anyone who employs people, and anyone who's trying to hire for something. For example, I was talking to a pharmacist yesterday, and he told me that pharmacists now, if you sign a 2-year contract, they will give you a signing bonus of $30,000. I don't know how common that is out there. If that's common in your industry, good on you. If it's not, these are special times. As always at these events, I'm always taking notes. I only attend these things because the content's good, and this was another great event as usual. Both my mastermind and the event that I attended, I took lots of notes, which I plan at sharing in our next real estate meetup that hosted by Cherry and myself. So there are 3 things that stuck out to me. One is exit plan. We all need one. So understand that the context of these events that I attend, they're for entrepreneurs. So as a business owner, they always have exit plans. For myself as a real estate investor and yourself as a real estate investor, we all need exit plans as well. 2, money. Not many were taught about money as kids. It seemed to be a very common theme that it wasn't discussed much, and it wasn't taught very well by our parents. So I know that's something that Cherry and I work on with our kids. 3, there are over 1 million job vacancies in Canada and rising. Isn't that insane? So yeah, back to the exit plan thing. Cherry and I were in the middle of refinancing a couple properties with a new lender that we're trying out. Specifically, it's private equity. It's private banking at one of the big banks. We don't have much to share at this point because let's see if we can get this done first before we let everyone know if it worked or not. Our plan is to take some equity out, tax-free, of course, because we're borrowing it. We're not selling anything. And I don't really want to sell anything, but I do want to take advantage of the most seller's market I've ever seen in my career. Since, again, I've been investing since 2005. I've never seen such a seller advantage market ever. So again, I'm trying to take advantage of these new prices at these all-time highs by getting appraisals and refinancing my properties. Anyways, I've noticed the market is getting softer. I know my friends around me who are in real estate like full time are noticing it's getting softer as well. It's how soft will it get? I can't really answer that. There are a lot of things going on in the world, but as I mentioned, Cherry and I, we have our real estate meetup coming up on March 26th, Saturday, March 26th. So we will elaborate more there on where the market's at, and we're going to review what happened last time during the last correction of 2017, which was a minor correction. Maybe we can dig up some numbers on a more major one, which would be more like 1989 for the Toronto real estate market. So what happened may disappoint you, as it was a wonderful time to get into the market. So learn from history, or else and if you didn't buy the dip, you're going to be doomed to repeat it. You're going to be doomed to repeat history. Did I mention we are back to in-person meetings? I'm excited. I thoroughly enjoyed the meetup that I went to with over 40 people. There will be no virtual option as our AV staff. They've been overworked thanks to the pandemic because we've been doing so many things online, but they'd like the weekend off. So again, March 26th will be entirely in person, live and only. We're not recording anything. And also because we're not recording anything, we're going to be more open and honest about a lot of things, including one of our coaches recently had to sell a property that was tenanted. And for those of you in the know, that's not the easiest thing to do. So we'll be sharing how that was navigated in order to optimize our clients' return on their property. I'm personally excited to get back to networking with like-minded people. I really miss seeing my clients live and in person like the old days. In the old days, we used to host over 200 people in a room, so can't wait to get back to that. The mask mandate is expected to go away before our March 26th meeting, so I'll let you adults police yourselves, and I will have on hand. I have a whole bunch of N95 masks. We're gonna offer them for $1 for anyone who feels they need more protection. For myself, my presentation will be around how the rich structure their investment portfolios. I was asked by a group of entrepreneurs who are seven-figure entrepreneurs to present to me how I see portfolio management. So that's the presentation I'll be giving is here on March 26th. And it's worked out. It's worked out. For those who followed along, you know that several of my clients have been or are contemplating retirement in the immediate future because they have the option to do so, and they have the option to do so comfortably, and while they're still in their 40s and 50s, which is pretty awesome. For those of you who are interested in more affordable markets with better opportunities to cash flow, we have Stephen Phillips with us. He will be presenting on, he's from Belleville, Ontario. So he's an investor in Belleville, Ontario, and he'll be here to share about how to invest in Belleville, Ontario. Saturday, March 26th, come to network at 8:30. Doors are open at 8. Come for 8 if you want to network like I like to. 9 a.m. start. Meeting ends around 12, but stay for the networking. I've included a link in the show notes. The cost for non-clients is $20, which goes to charity, and for clients, you have a link in your email to go for free. Again, there's a link in the show notes for an Eventbrite, $20. I hope to see you there, March 26th. On to this week's show. We have Hilary with us. He is a longtime client of ours who's been on quite a journey from growing up and immigrating from small town Kenya, Africa, coming to Canada as a visa student. So as so many immigrants do these days. Then getting really outside his comfort zone, as if coming to Canada from Africa is not getting out of your comfort zone. Thank goodness he bought a house and he house hacked it, because that's what you need to do to get by. House hacking isn't new. People have been doing it for ages. My mom did it for our family as well, so that we could get by on our home with 3 mortgages. And Hilary didn't stop there. He started investing in real estate. So imagine that. A gentleman, not from this country, he's coming from a rural community with what Hilary describes as, I made the silly question, like, do you guys have a Walmart? Do you have a Costco? He goes, no, we have 1, maybe 2 tea shops. That's how small a community he came from in Kenya, Africa. And he's gone on to buying houses and renting them to university students, and he's got some regular rentals as well. The first property being a student rental in Thorold, Ontario, back in 2015, that he bought for $351,000. I'll let him share with you what it's worth today. Hilary's strategy is for systemic, fully furnishing his student rentals. It's the way that he's done it is the first I've heard, so you want to take note on that if you're interested in that strategy. He didn't stop there with investing wise, as he's actually gone on to mentoring others in his community and even joint venturing with some of them to purchase properties in Northern Ontario. With nickel pricing spiking like crazy, I hope that's good news for our investor friends up north, including Hilary. Hilary has a full-time job, and he enjoys having just one job. He doesn't want to retire from a full-time job and take on another job as a full-time real estate investor. So he's proof that one can invest successfully for a comfortable retirement as a side hustle. We also have on the show, kind of like our guest host, we have James Moneybags Mags on. James is Hilary's coach on my team, so he's on to help us extract Hilary's journey so that we can pull out some of his best tips, so we may learn from his experience as well. Please enjoy the show. Hello, Hilary.
Hi, Erwin.
What's keeping you busy these days?
Well, family, work, and real estate. So that's all.
No one has that same answer.
Yeah.
So when you first walked into the office, I asked you, like, when was the last time we saw each other? Other than December client appreciation. Before that, when was the last time we saw each other?
Pre-COVID.
Do you remember what year?
Uh,
Pre-COVID's a long time.
Probably no. I attended all the IWIN meetings. So
Thank you.
when we stopped, yeah. But I attend all the
It's
Zoom
probably
meetings.
2019, my guess,
Yeah,
at
yeah.
least. If not, I'm trying to remember when we did our last big events would have probably been fall of 2019.
Yeah.
Well, the capacity restrictions end on March 1st, so we plan on being back full. For everyone who's comfortable, March 26th. You saw the new office, so
Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful.
thank you.
Yeah.
I think we're a little bit crazy to buy more real estate.
Uh,
Practice what you preach, right?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Having some cash on hand might not be the worst thing, but yeah, this wasn't cheap. All right, about you. Oh, and also some people are listening, so they don't know that James is here. James, why are you here?
I'm here because Hilary and I have kind of grown together since we met way back in 2015.
yeah.
So it's
2015.
kind of
Been that long.
yeah. I think he was. Cause I started 2014 part time. So 2015 was my first full time year.
Oh.
So Hilary and I kind of met as I was learning my realtor kind of game.
Yeah.
But I'd been an investor obviously for 5-6 years before that. So,
Uh-huh.
but it was nice to be able to tag along to see his journey.
Right. And,
Yeah.
and that is MBM, folks. Moneybags Mags, in case anyone doesn't recognize his voice. And he is just gifted at making money. Do you share the car lease? Cash for keys with the car lease?
Sure, it's not well.
This is the first time that
It's
we've shared this publicly.
yeah. It's. I mean, I think there's a lot more people that are kind of experiencing the same thing, but
Not me. I called the dealer today.
it depends on the car. A year ago, my lease is up on my car in March of this year, and so about a year ago, I was thinking about should I buy it out, should I trade it back in? It's on a lease, and then as we got closer to the time, I started hearing more and more stories about used cars having a massive value, being bigger than their buyout. And so I looked into it, and normally when you give back a car, there's all these fees and everything that cost you money, and instead the dealer's going to pay me $8,000 to take the car back. So that $8,000
From renting the car,
yes,
from renting a depreciating asset, they're gonna pay you to have
yeah.
it to get
and
it
then
back.
actually is turning into the down payment on the new car, which is the Tesla. So it's exciting.
How much more? What's the resale value? What's the market resale value?
Market resale, once they do
Or at
their
least what the
thing-
delta is.
Yeah,
Because you were looking at buying the car out and then selling it yourself,
right.
flipping it yourself.
It's about 15,000, but I would have to pay tax on it, and then the new buyer pays tax on
HST,
it.
yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
it just made sense in the end to take the 8,000 from the dealer direct.
Cash for
Wow.
keys.
Yeah.
So I'm actually happy to share that on the podcast because I remember sharing during the early pandemic that I called my insurance company to let them know the car's parked in the driveway.
Yeah.
So they altered my insurance plan. So, and then people thanked me later that they didn't know and they did the same thing. They're able to save whatever, 50, 60, $100 a month on their car insurance. But because just letting the car insurance company know it's parked there. And now we have an opportunity for folks to receive cash for
Yeah.
keys.
Yeah, as opposed to paying like we normally do as landlords. Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually thought like next time I'm gonna catch you complaining next time you give a tenant cash for keys. But enough about you. We talk about you too much, MBM. Hilary, can you tell us? Okay, it's been a long time since I've had the chance to speak to you because pandemic thing. Where are all of your properties?
Well, my first property that James helped me was in Thorold. And actually, we bought the property because James said that he was going to buy one. So I figured if he had confidence in that project, then at least he's been in the industry. So so we got that property with James, and then we were a little bit scared, and I think James realized that. We had a chat in Tim Hortons after that, and we were kind of concerned, is it going to be rented out and all that? And then anyway, we closed on the property in August, and then it was fully rented immediately. And I think on my birthday 2016, you helped us buy another one.
Right.
So that was like how many?
I think it was maybe 6 months later.
6 months later, yeah. We were comfortable already.
Yeah. Well, and the first one, what he doesn't also mention is it was easy because it was new construction. So there's no maintenance, there's no anything. It was our Winterberry properties, right? So
and you bought a plan, right?
Yes.
It doesn't exist yet.
Yeah.
So under Terry and warranty. So that's a good way to like easily get into the market without having to worry about too much. Because that's a lot of investors' first time purchase concerns is like, what if a roof leaks? What if something else happens? And that kind of took away a lot of those concerns. And then once how it was so easy to fill, then you're like, oh, I can do this. Let's buy something else.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know, but like that street is like a number one choice for students in that market.
Wow, why?
Did you know that?
No, because I have a wonderful property manager who deals with the filling, and I actually do not know who my tenants are.
That's the way it should be. If you hire,
I know, but as a business owner,
yeah.
for example, if a good friend of mine's a school principal,
Yeah.
and her son was looking for a place, and specifically asked, "Do you know anyone with property on Winterberry?"
Yeah.
Right, which is the street your brand new property is on, and you were unsure about it, and now it's like the most desired location now for Brock University students.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny how that works out?
Yeah.
You should have kept yours, James.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. ABM screwed up.
We did okay. I transferred it to another student rental in Hamilton, a little bit closer to home, easier to manage for me. So
I just.
yeah, I know.
Okay, Hilary, do you mind sharing what did you pay for this first property?
We paid $351,000.
Yeah, the numbers were amazing.
Yeah.
And it was how many square feet was it again? Was it 2,000?
So there's the two options at the time. There was the semis and then there was the towns. I think yours was the town, right?
Yeah,
it's Chadwell. Oh,
Yeah. And so those were 1,700 square feet versus the Emersons, which were 1,900. But they were all still 7 bedrooms.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
But it's interesting how that market has changed. So I mean, we were talking about values and stuff in Winterberry, and they shot up through the roof for a while, and then they all paused. And then something's happened within the last 12 to 14 months, where there's just investors can't get enough of anything on that street. So we keep seeing those prices go up and up and up and up. So and the numbers are, I think the most recent sale, actually we haven't even shared that as a team. It was similar to the one that Tammy and our team sold, and it sold for $990.
Wow.
Right.
What did Tammy sell hers for?
$820 or something like that. So within just a matter of months. So we've seen a massive run up.
Same unit?
I think there was a few differences, but it's still a semi at that one. So I mean, you factor in a little bit for the difference between the town and the semi, and he did okay coming from the 350 mark.
Yeah.
It's almost a triple.
That's a home run for sure.
I mean 3x. I mean,
Yeah.
But yes, I'm sure people would call that a home run.
Yeah.
Do you remember what the original rents were? What was the rents in the first year?
The first year it was rented for $31.50. Okay.
I think we were looking at around $500 a room, $475 a room when we started.
$450. Actually, $450, $475, and $500 for the. There were
Master
two
bedroom,
large,
yeah.
The big master bedroom.
Yeah.
And then I know you're pretty hands off. Do you know what it's rented for today?
It's rented for $3,000, but we only have 5 students.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The thing is, it seems like when you have less students, you have less wear and tear, and so actually no, six students. It's $3,000. I think. Yeah.
500 each. Yeah.
I think the distribution is different because what happens is I think they get a group of students and they distribute among themselves, and the property manager just has one lease with all the students. So. Yeah.
It's an interesting story, though. This property manager handles things a little bit different. Do you want to explain kind of their logic and how they manage your property compared to some of the other rentals?
Yeah, so what it does is you have to furnish your rental with a bed and standard.
Furnished,
Yeah,
yeah.
he has a standard, equipment. Like if it's a bed, you have to get it specifically from a certain supplier. IKEA number, this. So you have to buy
It's got a
everything.
system, right?
And I think what he does is he just shows one house to the students, and and you have to come as a group. Okay, yeah. And I think he's done a very good job. I'm really happy.
That was pretty genius, because then any repairs,
Yeah,
he gets, it doesn't matter which property it is, he knows where to go to get it replaced. It's identical to the previous one he got, unless something goes, like IKEA discontinues something. But I hadn't heard that before. I thought it was pretty cool.
That's pretty neat.
yeah. But the other thing is in terms of maintenance. I told you I had to spend like almost $5,000 in terms of fixing it up and all that before I could rent it. This property manager could take. So I think the most important thing when you're doing student rentals is to have a system, a system that can help you through the process,
Including screening.
Screening, and the thing is, if you have all the furniture, then the students will not move anything. Okay, so
that's wear and tear.
So we
moving.
would not paint the house. We would not repair any items.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing for me with the Winterberry ones, is that we found that the wear and tear from the students was, and it's a lot more noticeable on a new construction.
Yeah.
So when everything's perfect,
It's perfect, yeah.
and they dent and ding walls, bringing up their dressers and this and that, right? So when it's furnished, I think the only thing they bring is their mattress.
Yes, only the mattress.
Yeah, so nice and soft. You don't have to worry about damaging walls.
Yeah, especially these days. Just buy those
In a
vacuum
box.
sealed ones,
Yeah.
ND or whatever. You should probably get sponsored by ND. Give everyone a coupon when they move in. Well, because they're so tiny, right?
Just deliver a mattress in a box.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I cut you off. You were talking about their second property in 2016 on your birthday. Nice present to yourself. You bought it on your birthday? You closed on your birthday?
Actually, we bought it we went to see the property on my birthday.
Okay, that's how. Yeah,
But it's
something I would do.
It closed later.
I'm more interested in making money than celebrating my birthday. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
What did you buy? Where was it? What is it?
It was a townhouse in Hamilton, Upper Mountain.
Yeah.
And I think originally that was back when rent to own still made sense.
Yeah.
So those initial conversations were about rent to owning a property. So you're probably happy you didn't rent to own the property.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you mean? Like you just chose not to, or the tenant bailed?
No, the tenants still have an option to purchase it from us. They have been there for a long time. And
2016, that's a long time.
Yeah.
For a tenant,
Yeah,
So did the option expire and now it's just at market value?
Yeah, we have our own agreement in terms of when they are ready to buy it, they'll buy it from us. So
okay.
It's
what did you pay for it? What did you pay for this place? How much reno did it need?
$317.
317.
Yeah.
Freehold town?
Yeah.
Did it need much reno?
None.
Nothing.
No.
Zero.
Yeah.
That's not common.
Yeah.
No, it's a nice little pocket on the mountain that had newer towns that we don't normally see anything in, and then.
Oh, I remember that. What's the name of the? Can we name the street?
Yeah.
What's it called?
Upper Sherman.
No, but that neighborhood is the address Upper Sherman?
Yeah.
Okay. I remember those buildings though.
Yeah.
Like they're kind of like skinny 3-story. Is that the one?
I think there's a different one. They're only 2-story, I think.
Yeah, they're interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's rare. Like there's just a pocket of towns in that one section, and there's not much like it around. And they were newer construction at the time.
You remember the year they were built? Pretty close to that, 2016.
Yeah, I think they were like 2010 or 2011, something like that.
Oh, okay.
2012.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the strategies I like, newer free town holds, less than 10-year-old free towns. Yeah, freehold towns. Yeah. And then what did you rent it for? Originally.
At that time, it was 1,600.
Yeah. And
Are you
those,
socialist? Was this 1,600?
those were great numbers at the time.
Wait, that was rent to own rent?
No.
Okay.
The challenge came when we wanted to do a rent to own, and then there was some screw up somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I will not go into details about it.
Same
but,
tenant?
Yeah, same tenants. Yeah, so we were supposed to do a rent to own, so the rent to own figure would have been a little bit higher, but I ended up renting it for 1,600. But they've been really great tenants. So
Is the rent still the same right now, or did you come up a bit? If you rented
yeah,
this?
just a little bit, but yeah, just a little bit because they are still there. It's
And that's the tough thing too. When your mortgage hasn't changed, if you haven't done a refinance, then the numbers are still fantastic, even at the just over 1,600, right? So
What's not refinancing? I don't even know nothing about that, would you?
yeah. Well, the thing is, in terms of refi, it wouldn't make sense because then you'd have to go back to your pockets
Possibly, yeah.
over time.
Mm-hmm.
But we did actually refi these two properties.
No, you have?
We did, because that helped us buy our daughter a house in Ottawa. So yeah, so that was like the baby
Yeah,
for the two properties.
well, for sure. And I think that's a lot of people get caught up on, after you buy property one or property two, where does the money from the down payment for the next properties come from? And you're usually self-sustaining by that point. If you do refinance on that, or a lot of people will add to their line of credit on their primary residence in order to move the money around, but you're just taking the equity from the existing properties to buy the new ones.
Yeah.
Actually, what's market rent for that townhouse now? You rented for 1,600 still, roughly?
Probably it would be between 2,500 and
Yeah, it's pretty high now.
3,000. I don't know. That's what I think.
I think you're around 25. Yeah.
2,500. Yeah.
Does your tenant know what a deal he's getting?
Oh, they know.
Okay. Oh, because if they're like, hey, Mr. Rich Landlord, doorknob's broken, come fix it. Like, hey, this is what the rent should be.
Yeah.
Never mind, I'll fix it myself.
Especially as a rent-to-own tenant, they're supposed to do a lot of their fixes, right?
Yeah.
But still.
No, it's not a rent
Not
to
right now,
tenant.
yeah.
No, it wasn't actually a rent. It was intended to be,
And it's not. Yeah.
but then we went on straight rent.
Straight rent.
So,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So even if it didn't cash flow well then, at 2,500 with a 317 buy, that's fantastic, and no renos. It's impressive. Okay, so tell us about this Ottawa property. So you left us because you grew your wings. You left us in Hamilton.
No. Some things happen just naturally in terms of progression. Our daughter was admitted to Ottawa, and we thought, okay, instead of her going to live in residence, why not spread our wings?
In first year, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what we did, and because of the experience that we had with our Winterberry property, so we did the same.
Right.
So we furnished the rentals and
Same thing. You used all the same SKUs.
exactly the same.
I love it.
And any student rental that I'll do, that would be the model because it works. You don't break anything.
Exactly. You've got a proven process. Why change it?
Yeah,
right? So,
yeah. And the other thing is you get better quality students.
No kidding, eh?
Yeah.
We've generally just avoided stage furnishing just because I know the fire department works for it. They don't like it. It's on their checklist for lodging home, but it's lower on the list. It's much more lower on the list than the more important things that we concern ourselves with. But yeah, fascinating. If it saves you that much headache, then
Yeah.
Like-
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what did you buy? Was it like a 6-bedroom, 5-bedroom in Ottawa?
It was it was a bungalow, 3-bedroom upstairs, and then 2 bedrooms in the basement. but we wanted our daughter to live rent-free, so we added another room in the basement. So,
There you go. So is she your property manager?
yes.
Yeah, of course. So she has to earn her keep,
She
right?
had to, yeah.
And she fixes stuff in the house?
Yeah. She
Collects
did,
rent?
she
Shakes down her friends when they don't have rent money?
She does the rent collection, so
Perfect.
Wait, so who filled the property? Who found the other tenants?
she found it.
Oh, wow.
But she was in first year.
Yeah. She attended the IWIN meeting one
Uh-huh,
day,
uh-huh.
one time. Actually, I brought her here. Yeah.
So
And she
should I-
learned everything she needed to know from that one meeting. All right, thanks for the plug.
Well, I made her read some books.
There you go. See, that's good.
Oh, what books did you make her read?
She read the property management written by
Quentin?
Quentin. Quentin.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That was.
That's a great
the-
primer if you're going to be a student landlord.
There
Shout out
were,
to Quentin
there were a
D'Souza.
couple of others, but they were US based and all that. But the information that we got from that book was really good. Yeah.
We'll make sure you get your copy of my book. So James contributed, so it's got to be decent. Yeah, I make her read that one too.
Yeah.
I wrote the chapter on student rentals on that one. It's probably not very good. I don't know if I could fill a 6-bedroom. And she's what, 19?
18.
18-year-old property manager. Good for her.
Yeah. Well, now she's 22. So.
Yeah.
But,
Is she she's still at school?
no, she's not at school currently. So
She took a year off?
yeah, she took some time off.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't blame anyone for doing that.
Yeah. And it's still in Ottawa, or did she come home?
She's home, but she still manages the property.
Oh, there you go.
Virtual.
Yeah.
A virtual superintendent.
Well, basically, I have handyman and I have people who
You have the team.
I have my team
Same
there,
team
so
there.
it's not. The thing is, you're not creating a job for yourself. That's the most important thing. You don't want to be fixing stuff. I'm not handy at all, so
Yeah.
yeah.
And are you expanding your portfolio in Ottawa, or?
No, this was more a one-off at that time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I am not fan of getting a lot of properties. I would rather pay off what I have and kind of not over leverage. That's
From a mortgage professional, it's usually not common. Mortgage everything.
I don't know. Yeah.
Refi. Brrr. Print that money.
But he didn't talk about his other properties still, too.
Which other property?
Those I have with some joint ventures. So
In Hamilton, or?
we got some properties in Hamilton
Some.
with some joint ventures, and then we're expanding to North Bay. So yeah,
And Kitchener, right?
and Kitchener.
Yeah, you see, he forgets.
Forgot about that.
Other properties.
Wait. I thought you just said you don't want to have a lot of property.
Yes, because those are not personally owned; they are with groups. So with a group, and it was more. Those are my coaching clients. Basically, they, I'm helping them through the process. Yeah, and so it's part of me sharing the knowledge that I've gained from you.
Well, it was neat to see him take the reins to be able to be the real estate expert with the joint venture partners as well. So he kind of translated his learnings from the other properties into those ones, and you got some other really good deals too. So good numbers there.
Yeah.
So were you on like TikTok and like raising capital, offering real estate opportunities?
No. These are just good close friends of mine.
Okay.
Yeah. Because the thing is, in terms of sharing information, I would rather see my friends doing well.
Of course.
And for me, that's key. If my friends are doing well, then I'm doing okay. Yeah.
It's a tough one though. I found, personally, it's taken me. I've been an investor since 2009, and some of my friends are only just now looking at real estate, even though I've been talking about it, probably boring everybody to death for the last, 12 years, and people are still finally now starting to take some action. But you did a really good job of converting some of your friends to take out, you're 4 different joint venture partners at least, which is, phenomenal. Even though I've been touting the benefits of real estate for years, you did a better job at converting them.
I only have one joint venture partner on one property. That's it.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I think transitioning into, I wanted to understand more about finances and all that, and I got my mortgage license, and I realized that sometimes it may be better to use private money, and then you have less headaches in terms of always passing, discussing a project with somebody. At times, if you use the bar method, you'd do okay. You may not need to use a joint venture partner, especially if you're not intending to grow to 1,000 properties. So I think the process that you go through is very important, and especially if you know the goal. What are your goals? If your goal is to only get 5 or 10, probably you don't need a joint venture. Okay, if you structure your finances well, okay, and you work with a good mortgage broker who can help you through the process. Yeah, because there's cheap money out there. I mean, even if it's 10%, it's still cheap if you are going to hold it for 2 or 3 months and then refinance, right? And get all your money and recycle the money.
Right. So you changed your investment process to do that? So when you enter a property, you borrow privately?
Yes, and then I fix it up, and then we refinance.
Okay.
Yeah. We're not doing the full gut. No. You just need to look at a property that has some value, cosmetic stuff, and you fix it up and go back to the banks. Yeah.
So then what would your renovation budget be then?
20 to 30,000.
Okay. Yeah. So very cosmetic. We're not getting super aggressive here.
No.
Kitchen, some paint, some floors.
Yeah.
Appliances maybe.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And then how much are you able to extract then on the refinance? Well, really, it's not even a refinance. Sort of is.
It's refined. You get probably this one property we did. We spent 30,000. We got a lift of 80,000. So,
just from kitchen and paint and
but
flooring.
Buying right. That's the most important thing. Yeah.
Was James to help you buy right?
This is out of my wheelhouse. And I wanted him to kind of share a little bit more about all this stuff up in North Bay, because I think there's somebody else we were talking to that we know has been looking at stuff up there, because I know that the North has been growing kind of exponentially, and even though they've seen the same percentages growth, like the 20% year over year change, their entry point is still much, much lower. So even if the appreciation's smaller, you need a much smaller down payment compared to $1 million Hamilton bungalow, which we're seeing right now.
Right. But the renovation budget's the same though.
Yeah.
It's pretty close to what everywhere.
Yeah, in terms of if you get a good team, because the problem is the contractors are a challenge to get.
Yeah.
Well, that's everywhere. Not even just in North Bay.
Yeah.
Oh no, but it'll come out eventually. But one of our clients in the northern Ontario city, their general contractor declared bankruptcy, so the trades are going after our client.
Oh wow!
What? Not our they're working with someone else. They're working with another realtor in a different town in northern Ontario. So not our client on that deal. Yeah. But not pretty.
Yeah. No, I think the most important thing is who do you have. For example, for the North Bay properties, it was more the property manager also handles the construction, the renovations, okay, and she brings it to her own standard. Because she's the one who is renting these houses, and she's telling me, okay, if you buy this is how much I'm gonna rent it for. And she does it exactly.
Wow.
So I think having a team is key, and especially for the new people, because
because how often you want to drive to North Bay?
That's what I was asking you. I think you said you've only seen the house once, right?
Just once.
How far is the drive? How far is your drive?
3 hours. 3 hours.
Each way.
Yeah.
Did you even get there today? Like, it snowed today.
Yeah. Did you make like a trip out of it? Did you go like spend quality time and sightseeing and family stuff, or did you just strictly business just to see the house and home?
No, we did a site tour. We drove around and stayed up there.
I was gonna say 3 hours and then come home. It makes sense to stay over a couple of days at least, especially in the summer. Hopefully.
Summer it's really good.
It is very nice.
So it's very nice. Yeah.
How long is the summer? It's okay. It's supposed to be a real estate show. Sorry, I'm just curious about these things.
Yeah.
And then what's your plan? Like so you mentioned you don't want to have a lot of properties. Are you gonna where are you expanding next to then? Are you gonna expand any city?
Not really. If I were to do anything, I would come back to Hamilton. I'd come back here. No, the thing is, in terms of the north, you're going to get the cash flow. And once you have enough cash flow to give you some room, then you can come here and do more stuff, right? Yeah, because it's challenging to get cash flow in Hamilton, unless the down payment is quite a bit, and for a person who is starting, it would be a little bit challenging. So you would need to start somewhere, and then once you build up some capital, you can come back. Yeah.
I think we've seen property values and down payments triple since you started looking, at least since 2016, 2015.
Yeah.
So if the average person didn't have their own primary residence, saving up that down payment is getting harder and harder, which is why I think most people are pulling equity from their primary residence, because they've taken advantage of the uplift that we've seen across the GTA.
Actually, the story of you buying your daughter a house is a good story. So does she put any money into it?
No.
Oh, so you're one of the 30%.
No, but it's the Winterberry and Upper Sherman that bought.
I know, that's still your money.
So.
You see, you're one of the 3 home buyers that's getting help.
Yeah.
But it's your house. It's not in her name, is it? Or is it in her name?
No, it's not.
Yeah.
What? Oh, actually, I'm getting that question a lot.
Yeah.
Why not? Why can't her name? Why can't the house be in her name?
Well,
you're the mortgage professional. I don't know anything.
Well, you still have to qualify for a mortgage. You still need to have credit. You still need to have down payment, and you have to prove where the down payment is coming from. So a student will not have that.
Okay. You would have had to co-sign anyway, even if you did want it in her name.
Yeah. So you didn't want to share the property with her, so that's why you left her off. Smart.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, if things change, right? If a student decides to move and do other things, what would happen? Especially if they are not contributing to the mortgage.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so when she's done school, does she plan on staying in Ottawa, or?
No, probably no.
And then what are you going to do with the property?
I
don't know. Yeah.
I'd sell it, move the money back to Hamilton.
Yeah.
I have no bias.
I was gonna say, if he's got a good, you're right, but if he's got a good setup there, it's nice. Though it's a lot closer to come see your properties in Hamilton than it is in Ottawa. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's also one less relationship he has to manage too.
Yeah. The thing is, we go to Quebec in the summer, and that can be an excuse of us driving all
business
the way.
Trip. You write it off.
Okay. Yeah, I thought you were talking about him staying in the house.
No. We inspect the property.
He drove to Quebec to check on the property, and he just happened to.
And had to stay at the Four Seasons in Montreal, right? Yeah.
Business expense.
Yeah, and I think that's the taxation aspect is what a lot of people are missing in terms of just how good the system is for somebody who has a property or a business.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, because I mean, all your mortgage interests, all your expenses are tax deductible. So, yeah. And that for immigrants, that is very difficult for us to grasp because we grew up in a system where you have to save, okay, and put the money in the bank, okay. Now here you're being told, you know, if you actually invest, you're able to write off some expenses, which is really good. Yeah.
And with inflation the way it is, money in the bank is worth less and less every week at this point.
Yeah.
Hilary, you're an immigrant?
Yes, I am.
Oh, no one told me that.
Yeah.
Where are you originally from?
I'm from Kenya.
Kenya. Okay. Who's from Kenya, I think? I think. What's the name of the city?
I don't come from a city. I come from a village.
Is there a name of the village?
Well, it wouldn't even be known, but I would say.
If I Google Map it, will I find it?
No.
Pardon me if my ignorance is coming through.
What's a typical population of your a village?
Yeah, is there a Walmart?
A Walmart? We don't have Walmarts. Actually, I don't think we have a Walmart in
Kenya, period?
I don't think we do.
No.
Well, not that I know of. Yeah, but it's small town, similar to small town here. But when you talk of small town, you have one shop and you have a tea place, not a Tim Hortons, a tea place where you know.
Sorry, did you say one tea place?
Yeah, one or two. It's just, yeah.
We can walk to one or two Tim Hortons where we are right now. And they have like 20 staff in each of them.
Yeah. No, it's a different it's a different place.
For sure.
Yeah, and yeah.
And you want to leave, obviously?
I
Because you're educated. You're well educated. More than us.
So what? Well, I left Kenya to go and do a master's in Belgium. I did a master's in Belgium, lived there for 3 years, and then I came to Canada to do a PhD.
Very cool.
But I ended up doing a master's in Halifax. Yeah, and that's where I stayed in a student rental. So that was where I began.
So you had experience.
Yeah.
You had experience as a student.
I lived in
Very
yeah.
How many years ago was that?
I came in 2001.
Cool.
So.
How old were you then? Can I ask?
I was in my 30s. Yeah.
So
these opportunities aren't available back home? You had to go to Belgium and Halifax?
No, I had a scholarship when when I went to Belgium, and then I got a scholarship to come here too. So.
Oh, so you're really smart.
No, not really. I'm just opportunities came.
Okay.
I'm probably downplaying it a little bit. I'm sure not everybody's just handed a scholarship. So.
What's Halifax? Why'd you come out here? Why didn't you stay in Halifax? I love Halifax.
Halifax was it was a nice city. Lots of snow. I didn't like it. But then in terms of job opportunities in my profession, this place is better. Ontario is better. Yeah. The population is also
Population
larger.
is massive compared to out east. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when did you start getting into real estate?
We bought our house in 2005 when Zero Down was still available.
Oh, the good days.
Wow.
That's how I got into the market. Otherwise, I didn't have the down payment.
That you missed out. Zero down.
But at that time, I actually started house hacking because we were specifically, I told my realtor at that time, I'm not looking at any house that didn't have a tenant. Yeah. And my calculation was that I was paying almost $1,000 in an apartment, and the house that we were to purchase, the houses in Mississauga were like $300,000 that time.
Outrageous.
Yeah.
That was expensive then, of course.
It was very expensive.
Oh yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah.
I thought it was ridiculous.
But the interest rate was also high. Yeah? So my
Sorry, do you remember what the interest rate was for the young people that are listening?
It was around 4%.
Oh
I
my
think around
God, 4%.
And it went to 5% at
Yeah,
one
I think
point.
they were creeping up then, yeah.
Yeah, because I was on variable. and then it came down, and I was like, I felt blessed. It came down. But my calculation was that if I was paying $1,500 in an apartment, if I was able to get into a house that the mortgage was around $1,500 at that time, and a tenant was paying me the tenant was paying $700. So I was way ahead.
Definitely.
Okay, so that's how my expenses after I moved into the house was less than when I was in apartment. Yeah. So I think that's when I got into real estate. Yeah.
So sorry, what was the tenant renting? A room, a basement?
At the basement. So we lived upstairs, and she lived in the basement.
Got it.
Yeah. And
Fully
that-
legal, right? All legit, permits and everything.
No,
No comment?
I didn't know anything about that.
I don't even think they had permitted basement suites back then. They were all illegal.
So they had their own site, they had separate
Yeah.
kitchen.
Yeah.
They have a separate side entrance, or?
Separate. Everything was separate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
Sorry, what was the property? Was it like an 800,000 square foot bungalow type thing, or?
no, it was a semi-detached, around 1,800.
Oh, big.
Yeah.
Yeah, a big one.
Yeah.
Two-story?
Two-story.
Okay,
Yeah.
'Cause that's about what you paid for your Winterberry
Yeah.
for the same square footage.
Yes. Yeah.
And you still have that house?
No. We sold it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's what has helped us do all these things.
Mhm.
Yeah. Because initially it was like pay down your mortgage until I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and then I read the Smith Maneuver book, and things change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing how just a couple that there seems to be a lot of common first books that a lot of real estate investors read. Rich Dad Poor Dad being the one I hear the most,
Yeah.
myself included.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I actually kind of pivoted lately though. As in the second book, I think is our book. And obviously I'm biased, but if you want, because I think you need to be tactical for today. And you think about all the books we read in the past for specifically around real estate, they're not tactical for today,
No.
right? So
Yeah.
versus ours tactical for today's market. So I am
Good.
biased, obviously, but what would you read second?
Yeah, there's so many books that were fantastic, but the underlying principle still is valid today, but like you said, the tactical and the execution doesn't work
Yeah.
in this market. So you need something that's been updated for sure.
Yeah. Especially like for myself, I'm analytical, so I need to first start with the macro. So the book, the first chapter I wrote was on macroeconomics. So, and I think when you look at it that way, it drives the decision. Like, because in my opinion, it's a mistake not to have real estate. I think you guys would agree.
Mhm.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's an endorsement of the book.
He hasn't even read it yet.
He knows what to. You've heard us present it from the front of the room. It's not different. We're not that creative. Hilary, you want to talk about building a business?
Yeah, the thing is, in terms of most of us work,
Yeah.
okay, and
Yeah, you have a full-time job
I have a full-time
outside
job.
of real estate. Yeah.
Yeah, and basically, I see a lot of real estate investors who move from investing move from a full-time job to investing, but being an active investor, and that is just like having a full-time job. So after reading several books, I think one needs passive income that does not rely on your time. And so even when you're building a business, of course, the first few years, there'll be some groundwork to be done, but the eventuality is that you need to have the business run on its own. Okay, so that's where I come from in terms of any business that you create. You don't want to be an employee of the business. You want to own the business, right? Yeah. Otherwise, you'd be transferring your status as an employee to another status where you are still an employee, and that doesn't give you freedom. And I think why most people do real estate is more to have freedom to do other things that they love. Okay? Yeah. So.
Yeah, I was on the phone with someone from the dealership where I got my car from. And we got started talking about real estate because he doesn't own anything besides his own home. So I said to him, imagine you had 2 properties worth $500,000 each, right? So you have $1 million worth of real estate. Yeah. If it just goes up 5%, that adds $50,000 to your net worth. How long does it take you to save $50,000? How many people make $50,000 that they put away each year? Yeah. He says, nobody. Yeah. Right? I don't know where I'm going. But to your point about, I know lots of people who've gone full-time into real estate just to replace their job. Yeah. And sadly, it's going to come out probably pretty soon that some of these bigger outfits have gone belly up. It's actually kind of funny because, like James and I follow the stock market more. Like, for example, Peloton. There's the saying, go big or go home. Well, a company like Peloton, they're going home. Right? Well, they laid off 2,000 people. Wow. Right? There are only 2,400 people in the company. They laid off 2,000. Right? They went big. And so big is not always better. Yeah. Right? Yeah. It's great for the ego. Yeah. Doesn't mean you'll be successful. Because scaling is not easy. Building businesses is not easy. Yeah. Yeah. I live it. Yeah. And I guess that it's not for you, and you've determined like growing at a slower pace is good for you.
Yeah, I think more in terms of I look at myself, I'm more productive connecting with people, talking with them, guiding them. I like to see success in people. And so if you have a boutique business where you are starting with somebody and you're moving them through a journey like what James has done for me, that is more valuable as opposed to doing a deal here and then going to do another deal there. That's not scalable. It's not a business. For me, I think the connection, the relationship is more important, and then building that and hoping that whoever I'm coaching would also do the same to somebody else. Okay, and especially for immigrants like us, we are we don't have families here. Okay, you are alone, and where do you learn these things? Really, if you don't have a parent who has a home, you don't even know how to get your first mortgage. Really, okay, you don't even know any realtor, right? Yeah, I moved from Halifax to Ontario. I knew nobody. I don't have any family in Canada. Okay.
Did you even know where your community was? Or there's got to be Kenyans in Toronto.
Yeah, they are, but who do you know? You don't know anybody. Like if you went to where you grew up in Pickering, right?
I did, yes.
Yeah. So if you went to Pickering and say, "Oh, I grew up here," who do I know? You don't know anybody, right?
There's not a group of there's not a Pickering town in Toronto, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I think for most people who are coming from outside, either recent immigrants or even the ones who've been here for some time, it's very difficult to build a community. Okay, and we all want to own real estate because we know it will help us. But how do you start? Right? Yeah, that's why groups like what you have as it helps a lot because when I came here, I realized, oh, okay, now I know a realtor. Oh, now I know a mortgage person. Now I know a lawyer. Okay, yeah, because you're coming into a team of people. Okay, you're not just going alone. Okay, yeah. So I think that's something that is important, especially when you go to a new place. Yeah, and we are getting how many 400,000 new immigrants
each year.
each year.
It's actually higher. It's like I haven't read the report yet, but I think it's like some years are like 417, 430. Like it's bigger.
Yeah.
The original plan was 400,000.
Yeah.
Now it's a bit bigger than 400,000 each year.
I don't think that number even includes the
students.
Actually, no. It's more. Currently, they're emphasizing on the students. If you come as a student, then there is a pathway of you to become a
permanent resident.
Oh, but that number doesn't include students.
No, most students get jobs, and they get included in those.
But I think the government target doesn't include the students that turn over. I've seen it. I don't know.
Okay. I need to look at it more.
Yeah. That's how you got in.
Yes, I got in through the student process. Yeah.
Now you were before we were recording outside this room. We were talking about you're sharing how it's easier for someone outside the country to come in and if they're going to try to immigrate to Canada, it's easier if they come to a small town in Canada.
At the moment, there are several programs that the government is promoting, and like there is a northern, I think Northern Ontario rural program. I forget the name exactly, but the government is trying to promote people to go to the small cities because the cities are dying. And the towns.
They're dying.
Yeah, because there are less people. People are moving out of those towns, so you don't want the population to go down.
So they're backfilling them.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
So why are they dying? Do you know why these towns are dying?
Well, I'm not an immigration consultant, but
Is North Bay declining?
no, it's steady. It's been steady. But I think in terms of the government is looking at the tax base, right? So the more people you have, the more taxes you get, right?
So including that municipality, they're trying to raise taxes too.
So the municipalities, the more people you have, the more consumers you have within the municipality, and the more revenue you get.
Right.
That's my thinking.
Right. So they're prioritizing both job vacancy and also towns that need people.
Yes.
Right. So it's like a twofer, not just they don't have one problem; they have two problems.
Yeah.
Shrinking tax base, and they probably need to have job vacancies.
Yeah. And you know what? Canada is huge. They need people.
Oh, it's big, yeah.
Right. Now, let's say, for example, if you're in a northern community, you'd need a doctor, you'd need a nurse, but you need a critical mass to support that, right? Yeah.
Oh, and a lot of these towns don't even have doctors.
Yes.
Because they don't want to live in rural. A lot of them don't want to live in rural.
Yeah.
You make a lot of money. You generally want to live somewhere where you can spend it and enjoy it.
Yeah.
There's not much to do in a lot of those towns, especially some of the really further north that are just like mining towns, right? There's nothing there. Very similar to Kenya. There's like one bar, one
two
local
tea
shop.
houses.
No.
Not like yours. I'm just saying.
What I was saying
far
about I come from a small rural town. It's not that if you went to the city like Nairobi, it's the same as Toronto. There's no difference, okay?
Yeah.
But if you come from the rural parts of the country, it's completely different, right? Yeah.
So did you come to like the student visa program then?
Yes,
Or-
I came as a student. So,
Got it.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's probably the easiest way to come in, isn't it? You don't have to get stuck.
Well, the thing
in
is,
black fly country.
no, the challenge with this it's more if you have the financial, you have to prove that you can pay. So if you have a scholarship,
Uh-huh.
yeah. If you don't have, then you need to have money.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. A student in Canada would get a student loan, but
Yeah,
you
yeah.
didn't get a student loan to come and
Right,
study here,
Right.
right? Like, how many parents pay for the the school fees for their children? You have OSAP. A lot of people take OSAP because they cannot save,
Yeah.
right?
I ain't
Yeah.
taking OSAP.
Yeah. Wow.
My kids aren't taking OSAP.
Yeah. So many people do. But there is a facility to take you through school,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. If you are coming here, generally somebody has to prove that they have enough money to support themselves, which is
And move to rural town, Ontario or Canada.
no, it doesn't necessarily mean you don't have to go to school there. No.
Right.
But what I'm saying is it's easier for one to go to school in
Yeah.
Northern Ontario, because if there is a program that can give you a pathway,
Uh-huh.
why not? Okay, but you can come to Toronto. Okay, yeah.
I mean, then the cost for education has just skyrocketed as well since you came as well in the last 20 years. Like compared to what you and I paid when we went to school,
Oh yeah, mine's doubled.
more than that.
Oh, I still paid a lot.
Yeah.
No, a bit more than double.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're in a different program. My basic program is probably 5 times.
No.
Yeah.
Biology? It's 5 times?
I think, so.
What'd you pay when you went to school?
1996.
You're old. Yeah.
Pretty sure my tuition was maybe $7,000 or $10,000.
Oh, for a year?
Yeah.
That much?
So maybe that included my
Books?
and included I was in residence.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's probably all in. Yeah, it's probably books, residence, and tuition.
but still, that's 5 times that's only $35,000, right? What's the cost now for a year?
I don't know.
Yeah.
My school's different. I think I paid 12. I think in my last year. Now it's like I think 30.
Right.
30 grand a year tuition alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So now an international student will pay probably
Way more
double
than
or
that.
triple.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's moneymakers
Yeah.
for the schools.
yeah,
They love international students.
yeah. So that's unaffordable to a lot of people.
Yeah. It's unaffordable to Canadians.
Yeah. Well, Canadians gonna pay that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
60, 90 grand per year for undergraduate?
Not
Oh, if it's
90,
worth it.
probably 40, 50,
Yeah.
50K.
They should pay it to us. We'll teach them how to make money. Oh man, people are gonna call in and ask.
New University. Irwin University.
No. MBM University.
Iowa University. There you go.
MBM 101. Drive a fancy car. Oh man, what time is it? Oh wow, it's almost been an hour. Oh god, wow. Time flies. Hilary, it's been so great catching up. Hilary, anything else you want to share that we haven't talked about?
So, as I mentioned, I recently became a mortgage agent, and
Was that really recent?
over the last 1 year.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
That's pretty recent.
That's recent.
It's recent, but so you
Yeah.
got had 12 months of experience, right? Like it's not like yesterday.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm working with a team of other people, and we have probably, I would say, over 20 years of experience in this.
Mhm.
I have one, but I'm
Mhm.
working with somebody who has more. And my idea is to help the new people navigate through the process, through the planning process, because mortgages, it's numbers, right? I'm very numbers oriented. I'm a scientist by training, so the thing with somebody can do the numbers, but they cannot plan and show you, how to get to your goal, especially if they have not gone through the process. And I think in terms of the experience that I have and the knowledge and the teams that I have built, I would serve these people better, because if you came to me and talked to me about a mortgage or a property that you're looking at, and you tell me what your goals are, we could, change the conversation and say, why can't approach it this way, okay? If your intention is maybe to quit your job in 5 years, that's a different discussion, as opposed to if, you're like me, you want to buy a couple of properties, pay them off, and then do other things, right? So I think that is what is the value that we are bringing, and of course we also have the experience, and we can work with you through the process. Yeah. Just like what you did. Mm-hmm. You worked with me, and I know when I call him, he'll answer, right?
It's been very cool to see your evolution from not knowing anything all the way to now serving other people and helping them do the same thing you did. So it's very cool.
Yeah. I think people would like to know. So your joint venture partners, these are good friends of yours. Like James and I mentioned, we haven't converted anyone from our own social circles. What do you think worked to convince your friends to invest in real estate?
Well, the thing is, it's just sharing. Okay. How did Jesus convert people to become Christians?
I honestly don't know.
It was more showing them this is the way, this is how it is done, and all that, right? It's making students out of your friends, and because if you see a good thing and you tell them, you know what, I think this is a good thing. Yeah. Okay, if you did this, hopefully within the next 5 years, a tenant will have paid your mortgage by this amount of money. Mm-hmm. Okay. Are you able to save that money? Probably no, right? And you show them this is what I did, mm-hmm. and hopefully when they look at those numbers, they say, it makes a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. And then I connect them to somebody who knows what to do in mm-hmm. terms of purchases, right? Yeah.
Like the gentleman from the car dealership I was talking to today, he just bought his first investment property with his brother. He's like, oh, I heard tenants are rough. I'm like, here, search front lobby. Put them through these systems. It'll make it much better. And then I was explaining to him the whole like landlord credit bureau. He's like, that's amazing. Because he works in used cars. He understands credit. Yeah. He's like, you could do that? That's amazing. Yeah. Right? But you don't know what you don't know. Yeah. Until you talk to people who do know something. Yeah. I don't know much. But at least pretend to.
We know the right people.
Yeah. It's like one of my first clients. Like they were very nervous buying their first investment property, and I said to them, "What problem can you think of that we can't solve within 3 phone calls? Right? What problem do you think you can't solve within 3 phone calls? Real estate world. Is there anything?
No.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right. So it's easier than ever. Right. Yeah. Awesome. Hilary, do you? Okay, so. I always invite people to share their contact information. So TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat.
Yeah.
Smoke signal, carrier pigeon.
I just started a YouTube channel.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. The Mortgage College.
Mortgage College.
Yes.
So they just search Mortgage College or YouTube/Mortgage College?
If you search Mortgage College, you'll see it. Basically, I'm giving tidbits of information on the processes, what I've gone through, some numbers I share, and also anything that I think will be helpful for somebody who is new. Okay, you'd find it there. And then I have a website. So it's called My Mortgage Coaches. And
My Mortgage Coaches?
Yes. Cool. Yeah. I want to create coaches.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Yeah, they can email me and we can chat.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Hilary, thanks so much for coming in. So great to see you again.
Yeah. It was nice to chat with you and James. And,
Great to catch up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for listening. If you want to learn how to invest in real estate from scratch, my team teaches beginners how to use the #1 investment strategy in a virtual free training class every month. Go to investortraining.ca/podcast to register for our next class. I publish an episode here every week, so subscribe if you want to keep learning from seasoned investors like myself and my guests. Again, if you're ready to learn the nitty-gritty about real estate investing, register for our next free virtual training class at investortraining.ca/podcast. Again, thanks for listening to the show. Talk to you next week.